Belief is the foundation upon which everything we do is built. It's the lens through which we see the world and ourselves. Our beliefs determine the limits of what we think we can achieve, the quality of the relationships we form, and the level of success we reach. At its core, belief is not just a feeling, it's a force that shapes our reality. It has the power to propel us forward or hold us back. The truth is, the biggest obstacle most people face is not external. It's the stories they tell themselves about who they are and what they can do. Beliefs are often formed by past experiences, societal influences, and the opinions of others. As children, we are exposed to the beliefs of our parents, teachers, and peers. We internalize these ideas, and over time, they become ingrained in our subconscious. Some of these beliefs empower us, but many of them do just the opposite. They limit our thinking, constrain our potential, and define what we think is possible for our lives. These limiting beliefs often go unnoticed until they manifest as self-doubt or fear. People tell themselves they are not smart enough, not capable enough, or not deserving of success. These beliefs create a mental prison that keeps them from reaching their fullest potential. But the good news is that belief is not set in stone. It can be changed. Just as easily as we adopt beliefs that hold us back, we can replace them with empowering ones that propel us forward. The key is to recognize that beliefs are not facts. They are simply thoughts we've repeated over and over until they feel like truth. The moment we challenge these beliefs and ask ourselves, is this really true? We open the door to transformation. It's a matter of choice. We can choose to believe in our potential, even if we haven't yet achieved what we want. We can choose to believe that we are capable of more than we realize, that we have the power to create change in our lives. The belief in oneself is the most powerful belief of all. It's the belief that you are worthy of success, happiness, and fulfillment. It's the belief that you have the ability to overcome challenges, learn from failures, and grow into the person you aspire to be. Without this belief, it's nearly impossible to take meaningful action. You might find yourself stuck in a cycle of inaction, waiting for the perfect moment or the right set of circumstances to take the first step. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. It's in the act of moving forward, no matter how imperfectly, that we begin to shape our reality. Take a moment to think about a time when you achieved something that seemed impossible at the time. It could have been landing your dream job, finishing a marathon, or overcoming a personal challenge. When you reflect on that experience, you'll likely find that the reason you succeeded was because, deep down, you believed you could. You might not have known exactly how you would achieve it, but you had a sense of confidence and conviction that carried you through. That belief fueled your actions and kept you going even when things got tough. The journey was not easy, but you didn't let fear or self-doubt stop you. You kept moving forward because you believed in yourself and your ability to find a way. The power of belief isn't just about self-confidence, though. It's also about the beliefs we hold about the world around us. The way we view challenges, failure, and setbacks plays a crucial role in our ability to succeed. If we believe that every obstacle is an insurmountable problem, that failure is a reflection of our inadequacy, or that success is only for a select few, then we will remain stuck in a cycle of fear and frustration. But if we believe that every challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow, that failure is simply feedback, and that success is available to anyone willing to put in the work, we open ourselves up to limitless possibilities. The way we interpret our experiences is a direct result of the beliefs we hold. If we can shift those beliefs, we can shift the way we experience life. Belief also shapes the actions we take. Think about it. If you truly believed you could accomplish something, how would you behave differently? Would you be more willing to take risks, push through obstacles, or invest time and effort into your goals? Most likely, you would. When we believe in our abilities and potential, we take bolder steps and show up with more energy, enthusiasm, and resilience. But when our belief in ourselves is weak or non-existent, we hesitate. We second-guess ourselves, procrastinate, and avoid taking action altogether. The actions we take are a direct reflection of the beliefs we hold. If we want to change our results, we must first change the way we believe. In many cases, people's beliefs about themselves are rooted in past failures or disappointments. They look back at mistakes they've made and conclude, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never be able to succeed." But it's important to understand that failure is not a reflection of who you are. It's simply part of the journey. Every successful person has experienced failure, and often, it's the most painful failures that lead to the greatest breakthroughs. What matters most is how you choose to interpret those failures. Do you see them as proof of your limitations, or as valuable lessons that will help you grow. Your beliefs will determine your answer. When you shift your beliefs about failure from something negative to something constructive, you change your entire approach to life. In the end, belief is not just about positive thinking. It's about choosing to believe that you are capable, that you can achieve whatever you set your mind to, and that you have the power to create the life you want. It's about taking control of your thoughts and deciding that your dreams are possible, no matter what obstacles stand in your way. The most powerful tool we have is our mind. When we change the way we think, we change the course of our lives. And the most important belief we can have is the belief that we have the power to change. Action is the bridge between where we are and where we want to go. No matter how much knowledge we have or how many strategies we understand, without action, nothing changes. It's not enough to simply know what to do. We must take bold, consistent steps toward our goals, even if those steps aren't always perfect. The world rewards action, and more importantly, it rewards massive action, an unwavering commitment to moving forward despite fear, uncertainty, or doubt. Many people get caught in the trap of thinking they need to wait for the right moment before taking action. They tell themselves that they need to have all the answers, that they need to be fully prepared, or that they need to wait for the perfect conditions. But the reality is that the right moment rarely comes. Perfection is a myth. Success is not about waiting for the perfect set of circumstances. It's about doing the best you can with what you have right now and adjusting along the way. The most successful individuals are not those who are always prepared, but those who take action and learn from every experience, whether it's a success or a failure. The truth is, action is a form of feedback. The more action you take, the more data you collect about what works and what doesn't. In many ways, the road to success is like navigating through an unknown forest. You may not see the entire path clearly ahead of you, but every step you take illuminates the next part of the journey. Action clarifies direction. When you take massive action, you begin to see opportunities you wouldn't have noticed if you had remained passive. You start to learn things you would never have learned by sitting on the sidelines. But too often, people hesitate because they fear failure. They wonder, what if I make a mistake? What if I don't succeed? These fears are natural, but they are also limiting. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of the process. Every successful person has failed countless times. What distinguishes them from others is their willingness to keep going, to take action in spite of the fear and the failure. The most successful individuals don't shy away from mistakes, they embrace them as stepping stones on the path to mastery. They understand that failure is simply a form of feedback, an opportunity to learn, adjust, and try again. Taking massive action doesn't mean acting recklessly or without thought. It means committing to a course of action and going all in. It's about putting in the effort, energy, and focus necessary to create the results you desire. It's the difference between dabbling in your goals and fully committing to them. When you commit to massive action, you make a decision to go all out. You're not waiting for the perfect circumstances. You're moving forward with everything you have and figuring it out as you go. One of the biggest reasons people don't take massive action is because of fear of judgment. They worry about what others will think if they fail or if they look foolish. But this fear is often self-imposed. Most people are not as focused on your failures as you might think. They are too busy dealing with their own challenges to pay much attention to your mistakes. The truth is, we are often our own harshest critics. The fear of judgment keeps people stuck, paralyzed by the idea of failure rather than the reality of growth and improvement. Another reason people hesitate to take action is because they feel overwhelmed by the enormity of their goals. When we look at a large goal, it can feel intimidating, almost impossible. But the key to overcoming this feeling is to break the goal down into smaller, more manageable steps. The idea of taking massive action doesn't mean doing everything at once. It means making progress every day, no matter how small. Each step forward is a victory, and the cumulative effect of consistent action is what leads to extraordinary results. When you break your goals into smaller pieces, you can focus on taking one step at a time, allowing you to build momentum and stay motivated. The power of massive action lies in its ability to create momentum. When you take consistent, purposeful action, you create a flow, a rhythm that propels you forward. Even if you don't have all the answers or the perfect plan, the act of moving forward gives you energy. Momentum builds upon itself, and before long, you'll find yourself making progress in ways you never expected. It's like pushing a boulder up a hill. At first, it's difficult, but once it gains momentum, it becomes easier to keep going. When you take massive action, you build momentum that makes it easier to continue taking action. Massive action also forces you to confront your limiting beliefs and fears. When you step outside your comfort zone and take bold action, you push through the self-doubt and negative thoughts that hold you back. The more action you take, the more confident you become. You begin to realize that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. Action reveals your strengths, helps you uncover hidden talents, and forces you to grow in ways you never imagined. The more you push yourself, the more you unlock your potential. One of the key elements of massive action is persistence. It's easy to get excited at the beginning of a journey, but the true test comes when things get tough. It's in these moments, when the road becomes rocky or the results aren't immediate, that your commitment to action is truly tested. Persistence is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up. When you commit to massive action, you make a promise to yourself that you will keep going no matter what. You understand that the road to success is not linear, and that obstacles and setbacks are a natural part of the process. The ability to keep moving forward, even in the face of difficulty, is what leads to breakthrough results. Taking massive action also creates a sense of urgency. When you move forward with purpose and focus, you stop procrastinating. You stop waiting for things to be perfect, and instead you make things happen. This sense of urgency drives you to act now, not later. It forces you to make decisions, take risks, and move forward without hesitation. By embracing massive action, you shift your mindset from one of uncertainty and fear to one of empowerment and control. In the end, taking massive action is the key to achieving your dreams. It's not enough to simply think about what you want or to plan endlessly. You must take bold, decisive action to bring your vision to life. Every step forward, no matter how small, takes you closer to your goals. The most successful people are not those who have it all figured out. They are the ones who are willing to take action, learn from their experiences, and keep going until they reach their destination. It's through action that we grow, evolve, and ultimately achieve the extraordinary. Focus is one of the most powerful tools we have at our disposal. It is the force that allows us to channel our energy, attention, and resources into what truly matters. In a world filled with distractions, achieving success requires an unwavering commitment to focusing on the right things at the right time. Focus is the difference between living a life that is reactive, constantly pulled in different directions, and living a life that is purposeful and intentional. When we focus, we create clarity, and with clarity comes power. The ability to focus on a goal, a vision, or a purpose with intense concentration is what allows us to achieve extraordinary results. The modern world is designed to distract us. We are constantly bombarded with information, notifications, and demands on our time. It can feel like we are always doing something, but when we are scattered in many different directions, we lose the ability to make meaningful progress. When we lack focus, we find ourselves going through the motions, reacting to the latest crisis or urgency, but never making significant headway toward our goals. We move in circles, feeling busy but never truly productive. This is why focus is so critical. It is the antidote to distraction, and it's the secret ingredient that allows us to move from intention to action, from thought to execution. Focus begins with awareness. The first step in focusing on what matters is identifying what truly matters to you. This requires a deep understanding of your values, your vision, and your purpose. Without this clarity, it's easy to get caught up in the distractions of daily life and lose sight of the bigger picture. When we don't know what we're aiming for, we become vulnerable to the pull of external forces. We end up reacting to what's in front of us instead of proactively working towards something meaningful. To cultivate focus, you need to be clear on your goals and what's most important to you. Once you have clarity on what matters most, you can begin to make conscious decisions about where to direct your attention and energy. In order to focus on what matters, we must also learn to let go of what doesn't. One of the greatest challenges we face in maintaining focus is the constant temptation to chase after everything that seems important or urgent. The world is full of distractions, and the more we try to do, the more spread out our energy becomes. We often think that we have to be involved in everything, that we have to be busy all the time, but in reality, this only pulls us away from what we truly want to achieve. The key to focus is learning to say no to the things that don't align with your goals and values. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are limited, and therefore, you must make choices that will allow you to move toward what truly matters. When you learn to focus, you create an environment in which success becomes inevitable. Focus brings with it a sense of direction and purpose. When you focus your attention on a single task or goal, you can channel your energy toward achieving it. Rather than spreading yourself thin, you create the space to dive deeply into your pursuits. This depth of focus is what allows you to master skills, solve problems, and make breakthroughs. It's like shining a powerful flashlight on a dark room. Without focus, the light is dim and scattered, but with it, you can see everything clearly and illuminate your path forward. Focus also allows you to eliminate the noise. We live in an age where distractions are not just external but internal. Our minds are constantly racing with thoughts about what we should be doing, what we need to do next, and what others expect of us. This mental clutter prevents us from being fully present in the moment and hinders our ability to make thoughtful decisions. Focus helps us quiet the mind, allowing us to be more deliberate in our actions. It's about training the mind to stay fixed on the task at hand, regardless of the distractions that arise. When we master the art of focus, we no longer let every random thought or worry pull us away from our intentions. We can think clearly and act decisively. It's also important to understand that focus is not just about what we concentrate on, but how we concentrate. The depth of our focus directly impacts the quality of our results. It's not enough to simply give something our attention, we must give it our full, undivided attention. This means eliminating distractions, avoiding multitasking, and immersing ourselves fully in the work at hand. When we do this, we enter a state of flow, a mental state where we are fully engaged, energized, and productive. In this state, we perform at our best and can accomplish more in a fraction of the time. One of the most significant advantages of focus is its ability to help us navigate obstacles. When we encounter challenges or setbacks, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the magnitude of the problem. However, when we maintain focus, we are able to break down the challenge into smaller, more manageable pieces. Rather than being consumed by the problem, we focus on finding solutions. Focus enables us to stay calm under pressure and make rational decisions in the face of adversity. It is our ability to focus on the next step, rather than the entire mountain, that allows us to keep moving forward and eventually reach the summit. But focus is not just about achieving personal goals. It's also about creating a meaningful impact in the world. In order to contribute at the highest level, we must focus on how we can serve others. Success is not measured solely by what we accumulate or achieve for ourselves, but by the positive impact we have on those around us. Focus allows us to shift our attention from self-interest to service. It helps us identify the ways in which we can contribute to the lives of others and make a difference in the world. When we focus on our ability to serve and uplift others, we tap into a deeper source of fulfillment and purpose. Focus is also a discipline. Like any skill, it requires practice and commitment. In the beginning, it may feel challenging to stay focused, especially when distractions are so prevalent. However, with consistent effort, focusing becomes easier. It's like building a muscle. Every time you bring your attention back to the task at hand, you are strengthening your ability to focus. Over time, this discipline becomes second nature. You begin to notice the areas of your life that were previously scattered or unfocused, and you can redirect your energy toward those areas with intention. Lastly, focus is the key to overcoming procrastination. When we lack focus, we tend to put things off. We feel overwhelmed by the task at hand, unsure of where to start or how to proceed. But when we focus, we break the task down into manageable pieces and take it one step at a time. Focus makes the task less daunting because it removes the mental clutter that causes procrastination. Once we begin, we build momentum, and before we know it, we've made significant progress. Focus is the gateway to success, happiness, and fulfillment. When we harness the power of focus, we can accomplish anything. It allows us to create clarity, eliminate distractions, and make meaningful progress toward our goals. It enables us to master challenges, learn new skills, and make a lasting impact on the world around us. In a world full of distractions, focus is the one thing that can make all the difference. By cultivating this skill, we gain control over our lives and unlock the power to achieve our greatest aspirations. Emotions are powerful forces that shape our lives. They influence the decisions we make, the relationships we build, and the actions we take. Emotions can either be our greatest ally or our biggest obstacle. They can lift us to incredible heights or pull us into despair. The ability to master our emotions, rather than be controlled by them, is one of the most important skills we can develop. When we master our emotions, we unlock our full potential and take control of our lives. This doesn't mean we suppress or ignore our emotions. Rather, it means we learn to recognize, understand, and direct them in ways that serve us and propel us toward our goals. One of the first steps in mastering our emotions is understanding that emotions are not facts. They are simply energy in motion. Emotions arise as a response to our thoughts, beliefs, and experiences. They are the body's way of giving us feedback about how we are perceiving and interpreting the world around us. Often, we believe that our emotions are truths or reflections of reality, but they are not. Just because we feel fear, anger, or frustration does not mean that these emotions represent the truth of the situation. We have the power to change how we feel by changing the way we think and perceive the world. The key to mastering our emotions is realizing that we have the ability to choose how we respond to them. The next step in emotional mastery is awareness. The more aware we are of our emotional state, the more control we have over it. Often we react to our emotions without thinking, allowing them to drive our behavior. When we are not aware of what we're feeling, we allow our emotions to dictate our actions. For example, when we're angry, we may lash out at others, or when we're anxious, we may avoid taking necessary risks. Emotional awareness allows us to recognize these feelings in the moment, giving us the opportunity to choose how we respond. By becoming more mindful of our emotions, we can create space between feeling and action, which allows us to make more thoughtful decisions. One of the most important aspects of emotional mastery is recognizing that we are not our emotions. Emotions are temporary, they come and go, but they don't define us. When we tie our identity to our emotions, we become trapped by them. We believe that if we are angry, we are an angry person, or if we are sad, we are a sad person. But emotions are not who we are, they are just temporary experiences. By detaching our sense of self from our emotions, we can prevent them from controlling our behavior. We can experience our emotions fully without letting them dictate our actions. One of the most powerful ways to master emotions is to understand their underlying causes. Emotions are not random, they are the result of our thoughts, beliefs, and past experiences. For example, if we feel fear, it's often because we are anticipating something negative happening in the future. If we feel anger, it may be because we believe that something has been unfair or unjust. By identifying the thoughts and beliefs that are fueling our emotions, we can begin to change how we feel. We can ask ourselves, what am I thinking right now that is causing me to feel this way? When we shift our thoughts, we often shift our emotions as well. Another critical aspect of emotional mastery is learning how to manage our emotional energy. Every emotion we experience has a physical component. When we feel fear, our heart rate increases, our muscles tense, and we may feel a sense of urgency or panic. When we feel joy, our energy rises, and we may feel light and expansive. Emotions are energy, and this energy can either be constructive or destructive. When we experience intense negative emotions, such as anger or fear, we must learn to manage this energy in a way that doesn't overwhelm us. Techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, or physical exercise can help us release pent-up emotional energy and bring ourselves back to a state of balance. While mastering negative emotions is important, it's equally important to cultivate positive emotions. When we focus on positive emotions like gratitude, love, and excitement, we raise our emotional vibration, which helps us attract more of what we want into our lives. Positive emotions are magnetic. They inspire us to take action, build strong relationships, and overcome obstacles. The key is to intentionally cultivate these emotions on a regular basis. Gratitude, for example, is one of the most powerful emotions we can experience. When we focus on what we are grateful for, we shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance. We stop focusing on what we lack and begin to appreciate the richness of our lives. Gratitude helps us stay grounded, positive, and open to new opportunities. Joy is another powerful emotion that can propel us toward our goals. When we feel joy, we are more creative, more resourceful, and more resilient. Joy allows us to approach challenges with a sense of possibility and optimism, rather than fear or resistance. By intentionally seeking out joy, whether through spending time with loved ones, pursuing a passion, or engaging in activities that bring us happiness, we can raise our emotional energy and enhance our overall well-being. Mastering emotions also requires learning how to use emotions as a source of strength. Emotions can provide us with valuable information about what matters to us and what we need in our lives. For example, when we feel fear, it may be signaling us to take action and prepare for a challenge. When we feel anger, it may indicate that something is not in alignment with our values and needs to be addressed. Emotions are not just obstacles, they are tools. By listening to our emotions and using them as guides, we can navigate life with greater awareness and purpose. Instead of letting our emotions control us, we can learn to control them and use them to our advantage. One of the most challenging aspects of emotional mastery is dealing with intense or overwhelming emotions. It's easy to manage mild emotions like frustration or boredom, but what about when we experience deep sadness, intense fear, or overwhelming anxiety. In these moments, it's crucial to practice self-compassion. It's normal to experience strong emotions, and it's important to give ourselves permission to feel them. Instead of resisting or suppressing these emotions, we can allow ourselves to experience them fully, without judgment. By accepting our emotions, rather than fighting them, we can process them more effectively and release them more easily. Self-compassion allows us to navigate difficult emotions with grace and resilience. Ultimately, mastering emotions is about taking responsibility for how we feel. It's about recognizing that we have the power to shape our emotional state and choose how we respond to any situation. Emotions are not something that happen to us. They are something we create through our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. By mastering our emotions, we can take control of our lives and create the emotional state we want to experience. This doesn't mean we will never feel anger, fear, or sadness. Rather, it means that we will not let these emotions control us. We will learn to recognize, understand, and direct them in ways that serve us, allowing us to live with greater peace, clarity, and purpose. Consistency is the cornerstone of success. It's the quality that transforms intention into reality, goals into achievements, and dreams into tangible outcomes. Many people have big dreams and lofty goals, but what separates those who succeed from those who falter is the ability to maintain consistent effort over time. Consistency is not just about showing up. It's about showing up with purpose, commitment, and a willingness to keep moving forward, even when progress feels slow or invisible. The truth is that success is rarely the result of a single great effort. Instead, it's the culmination of many small actions taken consistently over time. The power of consistency lies in its ability to create momentum. When we begin any new endeavor, it can feel overwhelming. We may have doubts about our ability to succeed, or we may feel as though the journey is too long and the goal too distant. But when we commit to consistent effort, we begin to build momentum. Each small step we take, each action we complete, adds to this momentum and brings us closer to our desired outcome. Just as a snowball grows larger and faster as it rolls downhill, our efforts compound over time, creating a force that propels us forward. One of the biggest obstacles people face in achieving their goals is the temptation to give up too soon. When results aren't immediate, it's easy to become discouraged and lose faith in the process. However, it's important to remember that results take time. Progress is often gradual, and the fruits of our labor may not always be immediately visible. Consistency helps us push through the frustration and impatience that arise during the inevitable setbacks and delays. When we continue to show up and put in the work day after day, even when we don't see instant results, we create the foundation for long-term success. Success is built on the small, seemingly insignificant actions that we take every single day. In addition to building momentum, consistency also fosters discipline. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, whether we feel like it or not. It's about making the choice to continue working toward our goals, even when we face challenges, distractions, or difficult emotions. Discipline is what allows us to stay on track and keep moving forward, even when our motivation wanes. Consistency and discipline go hand in hand. When we commit to consistency, we are also committing to developing the discipline to follow through on our promises to ourselves regardless of how we feel in the moment. It's not about waiting for motivation to strike, it's about creating a routine and sticking to it, even when it's tough. Over time, this discipline becomes ingrained in our daily lives, making it easier to stay committed to our goals. Another critical aspect of consistency is that it helps us build good habits. Our lives are shaped by the habits we form. The actions we take consistently become the habits we repeat, and our habits shape our outcomes. If we are consistently taking positive actions, such as exercising regularly, reading, or working on our goals, these actions will eventually become habits that require less effort and thought. The beauty of consistency is that it creates positive habits that serve us. Conversely, when we are inconsistent in our efforts, we risk forming negative habits such as procrastination, avoidance, or self-doubt. It's the consistent, small actions that build the framework for lasting, positive change in our lives. Once we create habits that align with our goals, success becomes a natural byproduct of the routine we've established. Consistency also helps us stay focused on our long-term vision. In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to get distracted by the latest trends, opportunities, or shiny objects that promise instant gratification. However, true success requires the ability to stay focused on what truly matters over the long haul. Consistency is what keeps us aligned with our vision, even when other things try to pull us off course. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day distractions and lose sight of the bigger picture. but consistency forces us to remain anchored to our long-term goals. By committing to daily actions that support our vision, we are continually reinforcing our purpose and direction, even during times of uncertainty or doubt. It's important to note that consistency doesn't mean perfection. Perfection is an illusion. There will always be obstacles, setbacks, and mistakes along the way. The key is not to be discouraged by them, but to keep going despite them. Perfection is not the goal. Progress is. Consistency allows us to make incremental progress, even if that progress doesn't always look perfect. In fact, some of the most successful people in the world have failed numerous times before achieving their breakthrough. The key to their success wasn't that they were perfect, it was that they kept going no matter what. They were willing to fail, learn from their mistakes, and keep moving forward, one step at a time. Consistency also plays a crucial role in building trust and credibility. When we show up consistently, we build trust with ourselves and others. Our ability to deliver on our promises and follow through on our commitments is a reflection of our integrity and reliability. When we consistently work toward our goals, we create a track record of success that others can rely on. This trust and credibility open doors to new opportunities, relationships, and growth. Whether we are working toward personal or professional goals, consistency helps us build a reputation for being dependable, which is essential for long-term success. In the context of personal growth, consistency is key to developing resilience. Life is full of challenges, and there will always be obstacles that test our willpower and perseverance. However, by committing to consistent action, we build the mental and emotional resilience necessary to overcome those challenges. Each time we face a setback and continue to show up, we reinforce our ability to bounce back and keep going. Consistency teaches us that no obstacle is insurmountable, and that we have the inner strength to weather any storm. Consistency also allows us to refine our skills and become experts in our field. When we consistently practice a skill, whether it's writing, speaking, playing an instrument, or any other discipline, we improve over time. Mastery is not achieved overnight, it's the result of consistent effort and practice. The more we engage in deliberate practice, the better we become at what we do. This consistent improvement leads to greater confidence and competence, which are essential for achieving success in any area of life. Finally, consistency is the key to staying motivated over the long term. Motivation tends to ebb and flow. There will be times when we feel inspired, and other times when we feel drained or uninspired. However, consistency is what keeps us moving forward during the periods when motivation is low. By committing to daily actions regardless of how we feel, we create a sense of progress and accomplishment that fuels our motivation. Every small victory, every day we show up and take action, reinforces our sense of purpose and drive. Over time, these small victories add up, and our sense of motivation becomes self-sustaining. Consistency is the secret ingredient that turns dreams into reality. It's the foundation upon which success is built. Without consistency, even the best plans and ideas will fall short. Success is not about having a one-time burst of effort, it's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and remaining committed to the journey, no matter how long or challenging it may be. Consistency is the force that turns ordinary actions into extraordinary results, and it is the key to achieving greatness in any area of life. Taking risks is a fundamental part of growth and achievement. It is often the difference between living a life of mediocrity and one of extraordinary accomplishment. Yet, most people shy away from risks because they fear the potential consequences of failure. This fear of failure is deeply ingrained in us, often from an early age, and it holds us back from stepping outside our comfort zones. But the truth is that without taking risks, we limit our potential and confine ourselves to a life that is smaller than what we are truly capable of. Risks are what push us to the edge of our abilities, challenge our assumptions, and help us discover new possibilities. At its core, taking risks is about embracing uncertainty and choosing to act in the face of fear. It's easy to stay in familiar, comfortable situations where we know what to expect. The problem with this, however, is that comfort rarely leads to growth. True growth comes when we are willing to step into the unknown and embrace the discomfort that accompanies taking risks. Every successful person, no matter their field, has encountered risk at some point in their journey. They didn't achieve their success by playing it safe. They took bold, calculated risks that pushed them to new heights. The willingness to take risks is what separates the average from the exceptional. One of the primary reasons why people avoid risks is the fear of failure. We are conditioned to view failure as something to be avoided at all costs. But failure is actually one of the greatest teachers we can encounter. Every failure is an opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. It provides us with feedback that helps us refine our strategies, build resilience, and gain insight into what works and what doesn't. When we fear failure, we limit our ability to take the actions necessary for success. The most successful individuals have failed countless times, yet they continue to take risks because they understand that failure is an essential part of the process. They don't let failure define them. Instead, they use it as a stepping stone to greater success. Taking risks is also about seizing opportunities. Often, the biggest rewards in life come from stepping into uncharted territory and seizing opportunities that others may overlook due to fear or hesitation. Opportunities are everywhere, but they are often disguised as risks. Those who achieve extraordinary things are the ones who recognize these opportunities and take action. Even when the path ahead is uncertain, they understand that waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions is a surefire way to miss out. In fact, the best time to take a risk is often when the odds seem stacked against you. By taking action in the face of uncertainty, you demonstrate the confidence and belief that you can create the outcomes you desire, regardless of the challenges you may encounter along the way. Risk-taking is also essential for innovation and creativity. If we want to create something new, whether it's a product, service, or artistic work, we must be willing to experiment and try things that have never been done before. Innovation is not born from playing it safe or sticking to the status quo. It is born from the courage to try something new, to test the limits of what's possible, and to embrace failure as part of the creative process. Some of the most revolutionary ideas and inventions in history were the result of individuals taking risks and challenging conventional wisdom. If they had played it safe and adhered to the traditional way of doing things, the world looked very different today. Risk is the driving force behind progress, and without it, we remain stagnant. There is also a direct connection between taking risks and building confidence. Every time we take a risk, we expand our comfort zone and prove to ourselves that we are capable of handling the unknown. This builds self-confidence and self-reliance. We begin to trust ourselves more and believe that we have the ability to navigate uncertainty, make decisions under pressure, and learn from whatever outcomes arise. The more risks we take, the more we grow, and the more we realize that our potential is far greater than we initially believed. Confidence is not built by playing it safe. It's built by continually stepping outside of our comfort zones and taking action in the face of fear and uncertainty. Risk-taking is also an essential part of personal and professional growth. If we are not taking risks, we are not growing. Growth requires change, and change requires the willingness to do things differently. The things that brought us success in the past may no longer serve us as we evolve. To continue progressing, we must be willing to take risks that will push us to new heights and challenge us to become better versions of ourselves. Whether it's taking on a new role, starting a new business, or pursuing a new passion, taking risks forces us to stretch and expand in ways that wouldn't be possible if we stayed within our comfort zone. Growth is uncomfortable, and the more we embrace discomfort, the more we open ourselves up to personal transformation. In addition to the personal growth that comes from taking risks, there is also the reward of creating new possibilities for others. When we take risks and push boundaries, we often inspire others to do the same. We become examples of what's possible when we step into the unknown and take bold action. Our willingness to take risks can serve as a catalyst for others to break from their own limitations and pursue their dreams. In this way, taking risks is not only about our own growth, but also about creating a ripple effect that can impact others and inspire them to take action in their own lives. When we live with courage and conviction, we show others that it is possible to live a life of purpose, passion, and possibility. While the benefits of taking risks are clear, it's important to note that not all risks are equal. Taking risks doesn't mean being reckless or impulsive. It means making calculated decisions and weighing the potential rewards against the potential downsides. Risk-taking involves assessing the situation, considering the possible outcomes, and making informed choices. It's about understanding the risks involved and being willing to face the challenges head-on. Successful risk-takers are not gambling with their futures. They are taking measured steps toward their goals, fully aware of the potential consequences, but also fully committed to the pursuit of something greater. Another key aspect of taking risks is the ability to embrace uncertainty. Life is inherently uncertain, and the more we try to control every aspect of it, the more we limit ourselves. When we take risks, we are accepting that we cannot predict every outcome, but we are still willing to take action based on the information we have at the moment. Uncertainty is a natural part of the process, and the more comfortable we become with it, the more capable we are of navigating the unknown. By embracing uncertainty and taking risks anyway, we free ourselves from the need for perfection and open ourselves up to new possibilities. In the end, the ability to take risks is one of the most powerful tools we have for achieving success and fulfillment. Risk is a necessary ingredient in any journey toward greatness. It forces us to step outside of our comfort zones, challenges our assumptions, and pushes us toward new possibilities. Whether we are pursuing personal growth, professional success, or creative expression, taking risks is what helps us break free from mediocrity and realize our fullest potential. By embracing risk, we embrace the unknown, and in doing so, we unlock the doors to a life of limitless possibilities. Belief is one of the most powerful forces that govern our lives. It shapes how we perceive the world, how we approach challenges, and, ultimately, how we create our reality. Our beliefs influence our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and they determine the actions we take or don't take. Belief is the foundation upon which all success, happiness, and fulfillment are built. Without belief in ourselves, our abilities, and the possibilities in front of us, it's incredibly difficult to achieve our full potential. Conversely, when we believe in something, whether it's a goal, a dream, or a vision, this belief acts as a driving force that pushes us to take action, overcome obstacles, and make the seemingly impossible possible. The power of belief lies in its ability to influence our perceptions. Our beliefs shape how we see the world and interpret our experiences. For example, if we believe that life is full of opportunities and that we are capable of achieving great things, we will approach each day with a sense of possibility and optimism. We will see challenges as stepping stones and setbacks as temporary obstacles. On the other hand, if we believe that life is full of limitations and that we are destined to fail, we will approach life with fear, doubt, and hesitation. We will see challenges as insurmountable barriers, and setbacks will reinforce our belief that success is out of reach. In this way, our beliefs directly influence our perception of the world, and our perception, in turn, shapes our reality. One of the most important things to understand about belief is that it is not necessarily based on facts or evidence. Beliefs are often formed through our experiences, but they are also influenced by our emotions, upbringing, environment, and the stories we tell ourselves. For example, someone who grows up in an environment where they are constantly told that they are not good enough or capable of achieving their dreams may internalize those messages and develop a belief that they are limited in some way. Conversely, someone who is surrounded by supportive individuals who encourage them to pursue their passions and take risks is more likely to develop a belief in their own potential. These beliefs, whether positive or negative, shape the actions we take and the outcomes we achieve. Belief is also the driving force behind motivation. When we believe that something is possible, we are more likely to take the necessary actions to make it happen. Our belief in a goal or vision gives us the energy and determination to overcome obstacles, push through difficult times, and stay focused on the end result. Without belief, motivation fades, and we lose the drive to keep going. This is why it is so important to cultivate and strengthen our beliefs, particularly our belief in ourselves and our ability to succeed. The stronger our belief, the greater our motivation, and the more likely we are to take the consistent action required to achieve our dreams. The role of belief in success cannot be overstated. Success is not just about having the right skills, knowledge, or resources. It is about believing that we are capable of achieving our goals. In fact, many successful people attribute their achievements to their unwavering belief in themselves and their vision. They didn't achieve success by relying solely on external factors. They achieved it by first believing that they could. This belief gave them the courage to take risks, the perseverance to keep going in the face of adversity, and the confidence to believe their efforts would eventually pay off. The power of belief turns dreams into reality by serving as the catalyst for action. One of the key aspects of belief is that it is self-fulfilling. When we believe that we can achieve something, are more likely to take the necessary steps to make it happen. We start to see opportunities where we previously saw obstacles, and we are more likely to persist in the face of challenges. On the other hand, when we lack belief in ourselves or in our goals, we tend to give up easily, become discouraged by setbacks, and fail to take consistent action. Our belief, or lack of belief, shapes the actions we take, and the actions we take determine the results we get. This creates a cycle in which belief leads to action, and action leads to results, which in turn reinforces our belief. One of the most powerful aspects of belief is that it can be cultivated and strengthened over time. While some beliefs are deeply ingrained, they are not set in stone. Our beliefs can be changed, shifted, and transformed if we are willing to challenge them and adopt new perspectives. If we believe that we are not good enough or capable of achieving our goals, we can work on changing the belief by focusing on our strengths, celebrating our successes, and surrounding ourselves with positive influences. We can also work on changing our internal dialogue, replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones. For example, instead of saying, "I can't do this," we can replace that with, "I may not know how to do this yet, but I can figure it out." By consciously choosing to believe in our potential and our ability to succeed, we can change the way we approach challenges and create new, empowering beliefs that support our goals. Belief is also a key factor in resilience. Life is full of ups and downs, and there will inevitably be times when we face setbacks, failures, or disappointments. During these times, our belief in ourselves and our abilities can make all the difference. When we believe in our ability to overcome obstacles, we are more likely to stay focused on solutions, learn from our mistakes, and keep moving forward. On the other hand, when we lack belief, we may become paralyzed by fear or doubt, which can prevent us from taking the necessary steps to recover and move on. Belief is what allows us to get back up after we've fallen, to keep going when the road gets tough, and to maintain hope even when things seem uncertain. Another powerful aspect of belief is its ability to influence our interactions with others. When we believe in ourselves and our abilities, others are more likely to believe in us as well. Confidence is contagious, and when we exude belief in our potential, others are more likely to trust us, support us, and collaborate with us. On the other hand, when we lack belief in ourselves, we may appear insecure or uncertain, which can cause others to doubt our abilities. Belief not only affects our own actions and outcomes, but it also shapes how others perceive and interact with us. At its core, belief is about trust. Trust in ourselves, trust in our abilities, and trust in the process. Belief allows us to move forward with confidence, even when the path ahead is unclear. It gives us the courage to take risks, to pursue our dreams, and to step outside of our comfort zones. Belief is the fuel that propels us toward our goals, and it is the foundation of everything we do. By cultivating strong, empowering beliefs, we can unlock our full potential and create the life we truly desire. The journey toward success, personal growth, and fulfillment is deeply rooted in the key principles of belief: risk-taking, consistency, and resilience. It is clear that without the foundational belief in our abilities and the possibility of achieving greatness, we would never take the necessary risks to push beyond the boundaries of our comfort zones. The power of belief shapes our reality, driving us forward even in the face of uncertainty and challenges. By embracing risk, we open doors to opportunities that might otherwise remain closed, and by staying consistent, we build the momentum and discipline needed to turn our aspirations into reality. Ultimately, success is not defined by the absence of failure, but by our ability to persist through setbacks, learn from mistakes, and continue moving toward our goals. It is the combination of taking action, fueled by belief and supported by consistency, that transforms ordinary efforts into extraordinary outcomes. Each small step, each risk taken, and each belief strengthened over time brings us closer to the life we envision. By understanding and harnessing these powerful principles, we give ourselves the greatest chance to succeed and live a life of purpose, passion, and limitless potential. The key is to trust the process, stay committed to the journey, and never underestimate the power of consistent belief in oneself.